All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to build a gorgeous custom three-stone ring completely from scratch. We're going to go from literally a single point in digital space to a production-ready piece of jewelry, and we'll do it all using the incredible power of parametric design.
You know, this quote really says it all. Parametric design is a total game changer for jewelers. See, instead of just drawing shapes, we're building these intelligent models where every single element is connected. This means we can change any detail, like the ring size or the shape of the stone, and watch the entire design update automatically. It's not just about being precise, it's about having this amazing flexibility. So how do we actually do this? Well, we use an algorithm. Now, I know that word might sound a little complicated, but the source material gives us the perfect way to think about it. It's a recipe. We're essentially using a digital cookbook called Grasshopper to give our software a super precise set of instructions to follow, step by step, to build our ring.
And every good recipe has to start somewhere, right? In the world of digital design, that starting point is always zero. Every single design, doesn't matter if it's a simple chain link or a complex ring like this one, it begins from the single origin point in space. Everything else gets built out from here. So here's the recipe we're going to follow today. We'll start with our parametric toolset, then we'll build the ring's foundation, create the band, place our gemstones, engineer the settings that hold them, and finally, we'll get the whole design ready for production. Let's get to it.
The specific recipe book we're using today is a specialized tool set called AlgoJewels. And what's cool is that it's designed by jewelers for jewelers, which makes this whole powerful process feel really intuitive.
A good way to think about it is that Grasshopper is the engine, but AlgoJewels is like the specialized dashboard that puts all the important controls right at your fingertips. It's the perfect bridge between a jeweler's creative vision and the raw power of the CAD software. It's what turns our written recipe into a beautiful, tangible object.
Okay, let's dive into phase one. Every single ring starts with one fundamental thing, the finger size. So our very first step is to create that perfect circle that's going to become the inside of our ring.
And the very first ingredient in our recipe book is this component right here, the ring sizer. The guide says this one tool is the starting point for every ring made in AlgoJewels. It's the foundation for everything else we're about to do.
And here's where you see the magic happen. Over in our Grasshopper recipe, we just input a finger size, let's say a size 7, and boom, instantly the correct ring_circle appears in our 3D workspace. If you change that number, the circle resizes in a heartbeat. That's parametric power right there.
Now that we've got our basic circle, it's time to give it some substance. We're going to create the actual band of the ring, what jewelers call the shank.
To do that, we need our next ingredient, the universal profile maker. Seriously, just think of this thing like a cookie cutter. It defines the two-dimensional cross-section of the band. Do we want it to be flat, kind of rounded, maybe a custom comfort fit? This is the component where we make that call.
So this is where it all comes together. We take our path, that's the ring circle, and we take our shape, the profile we just made, and we feed them both into a sweep component. The software then just sweeps that 2D shape along the circular path and instantly generates the solid 3D band you see right there. So cool.
With the band complete, it's time for the main event. Let's add some sparkle. We're making a 3-stone ring, so let's get our center and side stones placed perfectly.
For this, our key ingredient is the gem mesh cutters component. As the guide says, what is jewelry without a few gemstones? This tool is awesome. It lets us pick from a whole library of different gem shapes and then gives us these precise sliders to define their exact dimensions.
And the process is really just a simple 4-step recipe. First, we drop 3 of these gemstone components into our workspace. Second, we use sliders to dial in the exact length, width, and depth for each stone, right down to the millimeter. Third, we use another component to orient the center stone perfectly on top of the ring. And finally, we position our side stones, tilting them just right for that classic 3-stone style.
Okay, so we've placed our beautiful gems, but right now they're just kind of floating in space. That's not very helpful. We need to hold them in place and do it securely. So it's time to engineer the settings, specifically the claws or prongs.
And this is where the flexibility of AlgoJewels really starts to shine. If you just need a quick standard 4-prong setting, hey, there's a component for that. But if you want to create something totally unique, you can use more advanced tools to build custom claws from the ground up. This means you could be sitting with a client, iterating on designs in real time, just swapping between standard and bespoke options instantly.
And this is such a cool way of doing it. The custom tool starts with the girdle of the gemstone, that's its widest part, and lets you create 3 guide curves, a top, a middle, and a bottom one. Then the tool intelligently generates these smooth arcs between those curves to form the foundation of your custom claws.
And what you get is what you see here, these elegant, custom claws that are generated parametrically so they wrap perfectly around the gemstone. And because it's all part of our recipe, we can still use sliders to adjust the number of claws or how far they extend over the stone, making sure we get a beautiful and, most importantly, a totally secure fit.
All right, we are in the home stretch. We've got a complete digital model, and now it's time to get it ready for the real world. For casting, setting, and polishing.
There are 3 final steps. First, we bake the design. You can think of it like saving a Word doc as a PDF. It locks in our live, adjustable model and turns it into a final, solid piece of geometry that's ready for 3D printing. Next, we use a metal weight estimator to figure out exactly how much gold or platinum we need, which is obviously crucial for pricing. And finally, we can apply realistic colors to create a beautiful render to show the client.
And just look at that. We did it. We've completed the whole journey. We followed our parametric recipe step by step, and we've gone from a single invisible point at coordinate 0 to this finished, complex, and beautiful 3-stone ring totally ready for production. Every single curve and surface was defined by our set of instructions.
You can see this process just unlocks a whole new level of creativity and precision. It allows for designs that aren't just beautiful, but are also intelligent and adaptable. It really changes how you think about making jewelry. So the only question left is, now that you have the recipe, what will you create? Thanks for joining me.